Good morning, good morning, good morning. I expect to see a complete showing because yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. And if I have a little bit less of a showing today, I'm going to know who the partiers were, right? So welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, Frida, by the way, I did get your email. I'm working through my emails right now. I think I'll probably email you back in maybe 7 minutes after this live. I'm going through all the ones from last night. So I gotta say, the showing today is a little bit less than typical Saturdays at this time. And I'm going to attribute that completely to St. Patty's Day being last night and uh, and rhinos being a little bit of partiers. In fact, we have one rhino that I spoke to last week, and he has such an Irish name. Well, actually, Brian has an Irish name, but he's here. Um, Such an Irish name. And I said to him, I was like, I'm going to call you next Friday on St. Patrick's Day. He goes, You don't want to do that. I don't know what I'll say. Don't do it. And I didn't, but I thought of doing it. No, actually, it was really nice here in New Jersey, weather-wise. And where I live, they just made a new park. So I took my son over there and let him go down the slide and stuff. And he's only 18 months. So um, he's not really perfect with the whole walking thing, as it means going upstairs and all the stuff like those parks have. So he did it really perfectly once, and I got it on camera, and I sent it to his mother. And then when we got home, I said to her, I was like, "Do you want to see the bloopers?" And she's like, "What do you mean?" And I had it on camera, like, because we tried a couple of times, and he fell and hit his head. But when you're a boy and you're with your dad, you don't cry. At one, right? Like we laugh. So, anyways, enough of Anthony antics. So super super excited to share, and I did in the email today. We have been approved and have access to GPT 4.0, which is a limited rollout, right? So not everyone has it. There's many many articles talking about what people believe it to be and the functionality it has, but it's already on RhinoStreet. So in fact, if you go to RhinoStreet and type anything in and go to Ask Rhino, it's GPT 4.0. And GPT 4.0, just to give you an idea of the power difference, GPT 3.5 was in the bottom 10% of those who took the bar, right? The test to become a lawyer. GPT 4.0 was in the top 10%. It was actually in the 88th percentile. So just to give you an idea of how powerful it is and how accurate it is, it's the most powerful AI that's ever that's ever been in public hands, obviously. But it far exceeds anything that's out there. It actually far exceeds 3.5. And on Rhino should be the 3.5 turbo. Um, and I was actually just writing an email to one of our rhinos, and he was talking about how impressed he was that we have 4.0, and we're having a conversation. And I said to him, just kind of like tongue in cheek, I go, yeah, well, it's actually quite impressive how 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 good our status is with all these really big companies, right? Like when you think of GPT 4.0, that's that's all the headlines. You don't actually expect, oh, okay, well, this little company Rhino has access to it, but we do. And I joked to him, I go, yeah, well, a lot of companies love our business model where we pay to give things away for free to other people. And I laughed. I suspect that when he reads it, he'll laugh too. But that's kind of what it is, right? So we don't actually sell anything. We like to be able to offer everything out to everyone. And the belief has always been that if you can go ahead and build the community and build the offering, the value will find a way to be there. And a lot of what we're doing with Salesforce and the influencer program and a lot of things that we're going to be rolling out in the next 2 weeks is exactly that, right? So I don't want to get too much into it. I kind of teased it, well, not teased it, but shared a little bit yesterday and a little bit the day before. And I find that when I talk about it, it's just another 10, 15 minutes of Anthony kind of just going. But um, put it this way, I've always believed that we were going to be talented enough and wise enough that when the moment was able to be seen, we would see it. And that's a really dangerous business model. Um, in fact, you have to have full faith in yourself. It's like a Steve Jobs thing. It's like a Mark Zuckerberg thing. It's one of those things where you just got to know that when it happens, you'll be there. And I'm noticing a lot of things that are making a lot of sense to me. And I think things are going to be really good. I think in the next month, everyone's going to see um, something really big happen. So that's just, it's not teasing it. It's still a feeling, like when you start kind of walking into a room or kind of start coming up with an idea, and when you think something big or whatnot, um, there's a bazillion reasons why it won't work. Oh well, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to get there. I'm not, and not only do you not know how you would get there, but you don't even know how to be in the room, right? And what I mean by that is, say for instance, someone said to you, "Hey, listen, your job stinks. Get a new job." Right? Like that to be true, but how do you do that, right? Like, what job would you even be good at? How would you go ahead and get it? How would you even know? How would you even know which job you're going to like before even doing it, right? So like, there's a big gap between something as simple as your job stinks, get a new job. But then there's a day that comes and you're just find yourself in the right place at the right time. You're like, oh, that makes sense to me. Actually, I could do this by doing that. I could, and this would solve, I could do this right now. And it just clicks and you're able to do it. It's that light bulb moment that, well, I personally believe is probably the foundation of every good idea. You have to have it. But more so than that, I feel really, really confident that we've had that light bulb moment this week. I think everything we've done, you see, when you go ahead and create everything with no revenue model behind it, what you're effectively doing is building it in the likes of 100% of the people that you're giving it to. Because we never built a revenue model, we never had anything that disqualified anyone. Because it's free, we want everyone to have it and be as happy as possible, and everyone, as many people as possible, to have it. Once you start building a revenue model, it's like, oh, okay, well, these people can't afford it, and these people might not like it, and how long are these people going to stay in it? But when you don't have a revenue, there is no sacrifice. It's completely 100% made for the people you're giving it to. And considering that we've done that with everything we've done, and I was talking to someone the other day. They're like, "Oh, so what's going on at RHINOStreet? Did you just like forget about it?" No, it's actually being worked on right now. In fact, we're working with OpenAI right now to go ahead and implement Whisper into the search, which would allow you to pick up your phone, press a button like a voice to text. Pick up your phone, press the button, say, "What year was Michael Jordan born?" Take your finger off the button. That text that voice gets converted to text, then gets submitted into the search, and then goes ahead and pulls you your results. Now, how many people use RhinoStreet? Like, not a lot. Maybe a lot of people use it for the ChatGPT, but no one uses it for search. But does that mean that it's not equipped? That if that moment ever comes, that people wouldn't use it? No, in fact, it makes all the sense in the world. If when you ask anyone, do you want an opportunity? Do you want a clean way to at least search your community? First, the answer is always yes. Would you like to be on a search engine that didn't have any marketing, no ads, no data tracking, no nothing? It was just clean, safe search. Yeah, I would actually. Now, does that mean everyone's going to use it? No. Maybe sometimes somebody wants to, I don't know, buy something that's in another country. That's perfectly fine. But at the moment the user decides to make a search, they're going to ask themselves, well, do I want to search local first? And we believe 50% of the time that makes sense. So do we believe that we have something that a big percentage of the population would actually use? Yeah, of course. But nobody's using it. We don't have it populated. But again, we never did the market. We never did any of that stuff. We just said, you know what? We want to keep building. We're going to keep building everything that makes sense to us. Rhino Bucks. Do you know how easy it would have been to launch a cryptocurrency and put a whole bunch of marketing behind it and buy a whole bunch of influencers and pull the rug out? Would have been so easy, especially with a platform like Rhino. In fact, if you take a look at how loyal Rhino is, and of course, it's like the chicken or the egg, right? Everyone's loyal because they know we would never do that. Therefore, we would never do it. So this doesn't make sense to even say. But if we ever decide to do it, could we do it? Well, of course, right? But no, instead we said, you know what, we're going to do it the world's first subscription model. And we're going to purposely do low dollar amounts. And we're purposely going to just keep building and building the people because we believe that when you go ahead and get to scale on the people side, the fact that everyone had low dollar amounts make sure that the retention stays high, right? Like there's never going to be a point in time that someone's going to say, oh my God, the economy's so bad. I got to get rid of that $1 a week plan. And maybe some people will, right? But like the odds are very, very low compared to people that are doing 10,000, 20,000, whatever the case may be. And the second we realized that the conversion rate, or at least the appetite for people outside of Rhino, was not very high for it, we could have very easily said, you know what, let's do something else. This didn't really work. Yeah, I know the big picture makes sense, and if we get everyone involved, and this is the perfect way to transfer wealth back from 1% to 99% because it just goes off on its own, and we did this. But you know what? It's just not working. Let's just move on. No. At the sacrifice of all the numbers, we said no, and then we had to actually find something to build something that made sense that we could, and that's where Rhino Hub came. So there's a lot of really, really cool stuff. But again, none of it means anything if you don't have the people to come to it. So even though we built a platform that we're actually going to be doing job placement, because we're going to be hiring people for insane dollar an hour amounts, we're going to train them, we're going to get them certified, and we're going to go get the contracts from the companies to assign the hours. It's not that populated. Even though we built a subscription service where the retention is 86%, the coin is wildly supported, and no one, only 60% of people even have a wallet because to even think about selling. It doesn't go up every day. It doesn't have billions of people in it. Even though we have a search engine that actually is the answer to everything big tech and allows everyone the only clean way to search their own community, we don't have many people in it. Because the one thing we're missing is, how do we go ahead and get that awareness? And that's a market, right? Like, that's a transaction. We want awareness. Okay, who has awareness? Well, how do you get awareness, right? So it's like Socratic method, right? Okay, let's take a step back. How do you get awareness? You can do a bunch of things. You can run around naked, right? Like that'll get some awareness. Not me, because I'm not as fit as I once was. You could pay for it, right? Like you could go do marketing and ads. We always say we never did it, and it kind of sounds like at some point maybe it was just laziness. But I just think I never wanted to do it. I just didn't want to do it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like I don't think doing something that everyone else is doing has ever been a Rhino thing. So whatever. So there's many ways to gain awareness, but there are so many people that have gotten awareness, and now they're on borrowed time. Do you think the fitness model that has 5 million Instagram followers is going to be as popular 30 years from now? Do you think the girl that's making $100,000 a month on OnlyFans is going to be as popular as she is today, even a month from now? Do you think, and then fill in the blank, right? And it's just across the board. Any industry that has a peak in terms of age because you're more desirable has a certain lifespan. And then every other industry has a certain lifespan, just to the fact that if you're really that popular, people are going to compete with you. There's always someone that's willing to do more, and there's always someone better than you. It just is. So if you're one of those lucky people that have that at your fingertips right now, you must be scared out of your mind. All right, I'm not making that much now, and should I start selling influence? Should I start doing posts? And then if I start doing posts, people are going to be like, look at me, I'm selling out. I just think it's a lot. And I think these people are actually scared. I don't care what they say. They have to be. And I think if you ever offer them the opportunity that everything that we just shared with you that we have, if they could be behind giving it to the world, and they could become billionaires overnight doing it, because again, they would be compensated in a coin, and that coin would, again, it does it on its own. The more people that get in, it'll do it on its own. Because again, it's recurring and subscription and everyone like it, right? Like you guys know that. And now what if you were able to get like 10 of them or 20 of them or 100 of them or 300 of them? Effectively, that would be enough to change the world. Like if you had that many people and you gave them access, hey guys, listen, we have our own search engine that at least 50% of the people in the world will use. We have this. Do you want to be a part of it? I think people start saying yes pretty quickly. So it's kind of like lights are going off. And again, I tried not to talk as much, and I did. But I'm finishing up a lot today. I want to get this mapped out by the middle of next week. And I do want to start creating the videos that I'm going to personalize and send out to each one of these individuals. And by the way, if anyone doesn't know my background, well, not that you need to, I'm going to get them on. Like, I'm going to get it. If I have to email them 100 times, if I have to make phone calls, if I have to go show up at houses, I will. So, well, not really, right? But it'll happen. So the point of the story is buckle up. By the end of next week, we're going to have a lot of good updates. And I honestly think probably by May, we're going to be in a different world. Oh, and by the way, I was talking to one of our rhinos yesterday. It's like, Ant, when are we going to get, when are the investor coin going to start coming back? And I said to him, I go, I want nothing more than to start giving investor coin back, because not that I want, let me rephrase that. I want to do it not because of the, all right, here you go, but what it means, right? Like, to be able to give investor coin back means we have so much money coming in that we could finally start rewarding our investors and believers from the beginning. So I want that more than anyone. And I'm sure some investors will say, well, not more than me, but actually the answer is yes, more than you. I believe that will start happening latest, June. I'm going to shoot for May. So just keep that in your mind. Brian, you're the best. Travis, fast fact, just 2 months ago, it took AI 30 minutes to copy a voice. Now there's one that can do it in 3 seconds. Starts with a V. Am I supposed to know this? My brain shot. Starts with a V. Okay. Well, anyway, I totally love y'all. And I will see you Monday. Enjoy your weekend. And if you have an email in my email box, like Frida, I'm going to get to it right now. Bye.